Aw, yeah, baby, it's go time. No! What happened? They killed it! Where's my son? Great episode, gang. Great episode. Incredible work, everyone. Alright, now we back for real. Please, God. Q4's reference. You just pan over and the rabbit hatch is just hanging out in the background. Girl, what are you wearing? What is she wearing? What is on her feet? Japan looks very green from up here.
Good luck.
That sounded especially ominous of a good luck from U0, and I don't like that. I like the little tiny Zeztz in the opening shot there. Alright, so what's the plan here? Are you gonna kick the meteor to death? Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work, buddy. Oh! What the- what? What the fu- what? Huh? So it's contained in there. Oh yeah, you have a job to do. And you failed the job. Nox is so fun. He shows up, he causes problems, and he leaves. Okay, so problem. Oh, fun. 2 days. Oh, good. So Baku's literally fighting here for the fate of all humanity. I'm genuinely shocked he hasn't told Fujimi yet that Nox is Odaka. Oh, good. Is he telling them? Yes! 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 So he's in my dreams. He goes by Nox. He's kind of killed me. Ooh! Lore! That is a sick design. I want to see that so badly in suit form. But why was he experiencing them? He said he was an agent, so did Zero work with him before? But then why would he become Nox? Imagine if one day they just leave the closet, and then Minami's just right there. I hope they're slowly me pulling for new characters. That's literally just me playing a gacha game. Oh god, oh god, oh god. Not the truck again. Oh! Hey, why did dark energy come out of that? Just me casually revealing that I have superpowers. Aw, this is cute. Holy shit, the cool guy from my dream is real! My boy! What even hit him? I didn't even see what it was. This kid would love fours. This is very cute, though. I need to sleep! Does she think he's just chronically tired or something? Please invade his closet. Yes, yes, yes. Holy shit, let's go! She's going to be so pissed at him. Oh boy. Oh boy! I forgot. Can it be is it established that Zero can be in both the waking world and the dream world at the same time?
You got it. Start my engine.
I've been in too many robot fucker circles. I say as if I don't put myself in those spaces. Oh, these backing tracks are awesome. Alright, now where's Nox? Wow, who would have guessed? So Nox used to be a part of Code, wasn't he? Then tell me! Then stop speaking! Yes, 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 yes! I love the gold. The gold is super nice. Oh, hell yeah. Oh! Oh my god. Oh, that's so cool. Hell yes. I love the shots where it's Nox in the moon. It goes so well with his suit, man. God, yeah, the color scheme being white, black, gold, and orange is such a good choice. It's really cool too because he follows the same design principles that Zeztz does, but like is different, if that makes sense. Oh my god, that's so cool. What? Oh! Okay, we can just do that now, I guess. Sure. Whatever. Yeah. What is that? It's like a feral form. Oh, that's cool. Heyo. So he's fighting against the nightmare here? Or I guess this one at least, considering how this one was in a capsum. Oh, that's sick. So I guess we can't use barrier anymore? You can't just end it like that. Oh! Oh no! Would saying that Nox Knight is cool be redundant? Like, the sky is blue, grass is green, Nox Knight is insanely cool. Literally just in his debut episode alone. Oh god, it is weird, like, finally seeing him on screen. And like, yeah, we saw him in like the preview last week, but like it's one thing seeing him in a preview and it's another seeing him on the screen, especially since we've known about this man like I think before the show even started airing. So it's surreal. It's so surreal. And God, he's just as cool as I hoped he would be. His design is because seeing still images of his design was kind of like one thing. Like I was like, okay, it seems pretty interesting. I'm not sure how to explain it, but Zetz's design is kind of simplistic in its shape, language, and structure. Like, of course, when you look closer, you'll see, like, a bunch of little details and stuff like that. But Zeztz is actually pretty simple compared to, like, the last several primary riders, I think. So, seeing Nox Knight as the secondary rider was a bit of a shock because the shape language and the patterns used for him was like a lot. It felt a lot more than what was used for Zeztz. I think I'm gonna need a couple episodes to really get used to everything going on with him in terms of appearance because he is a very stark contrast to Zeztz, and I very much think that that was done on purpose because seeing that one shot with Nox Knight and Zeztz right next to each other really did cement just how different their designs were. I think a good comparison that I can make in that regard is from the riders in Kamen Rider Blade. Like how Blade, Garen, and Liangle, all three of them have very, like, consistent design principles and shape language with each other due to, you know, the driver and the power's place of origin, while Chalice was very noticeably different from the other three, but certain design elements were carried over from the other three. It's just that Chalice used them in a different way to, you know, help him feel more inhuman, to feel like he's a rider, but he's not the same rider as the other three are. Like, that's what Nox Knight reads as to me. That he's another rider, or I guess debatable rider, I have no idea what he's classified as at the moment. But he is a rider, but he has very different design principles going on than our primary rider. And I think that's such a really like, it's such a really cool way to highlight their differences. Even before we really get into the specifics of what Nox's goals are. And the color scheme. The color scheme really works so well. Like the silver, the orange, the black, the yellow. It's like Geets and Vram had a weird baby. I don't know how else to describe it aside from I was reminded very much of those two designs, especially Vram, because Vram uses kind of the same color palette, albeit, displayed differently. But that is a big compliment. That is a very big compliment. I do like the design. I just know that I'm gonna need to have a moment to get used to it, especially since the artist brain in me is looking at that and going, oh, that's gonna be a nightmare to draw, and I know that I'm gonna want to draw him, and I'm not ready for the agony that that'll bring me. And speaking of Nox Knight, because Nox Knight only came about at the end of the episode, so we didn't get to see like that much of his abilities in action, but what really stood out for me is the fact that like he can like in the dream he can turn night to day whenever the hell he wants. But I think there's something more to it because like of course this show loves its transitions, it loves its creative transitions, but when Nox kind of hit Zeztz away into the distance and then changed the time from night to day, it almost seems like that pillar came out of nowhere. So I'm curious if, and of course, Nox, even without his Nox Knight form, already has some kind of reality manipulation ability, as seen when he could, use it to assist nightmares or use it to mess with things in the waking world. So I'm wondering, is it just that he can change night to day, or is it that he kind of reverses time somehow? Or, well, not like reverse time as in a time traveler way, but like an extension of recovery, for instance. Like using Nox Knight, he can revert something back to how it looked the day before. I do not know if I'm making sense when I'm describing this, but I don't know. I don't know if the pillar was just already there when it was dark and it was for the sake of a cool transition. But considering how Zetz's powers have been used in very creative ways, that you normally wouldn't think about when thinking about their intended purpose, I'm assuming that Nox must have something like that going on as well. Like, I don't think it's just an aesthetic choice. Putting aside Nox Knight is finally real on the screen, though, the other thing that I wasn't expecting at all to happen this episode that I've been waiting for is the fact that Minami found Code's headquarters. And she didn't just find Code's headquarters, but she saw Zero, someone who Fujimi and Natsuka haven't even seen yet because he's been keeping himself hidden from them. Minami has seen Zero and is getting the explanation of what's going on from Zero. And that is a very interesting development because Minami, like, I knew that Minami, of course, was eventually gonna learn that, her brother's a Kamen Rider, yada yada yada, that sort of thing. But I wasn't expecting it to happen this quickly. Like, I know they were building up to it, but, like, at minimum, I would have said we have to be at, like, 20 episodes first or something. And admittedly, it does worry me a little bit, because, do not get me wrong, I love that Minami now knows this early, so now she can be included even further in the plot. But I'm worried, because, like, this feels off in a way. Like, not from a writing standpoint, but in, like, a comparison and familiarity with, like, other Kamen Rider shows. Because I'm like, we're getting, like, every member of the main cast kind of on the same page. And I'm hoping that's just because we're like building up for stuff later and not because this season has like a short run time, if that makes sense. Like, I'm hoping that we're building up these character interactions and these realizations so that shit can get even more real later down the line. And not just because it's like, oh, by the way, this show is like, I don't know, 35 episodes or something like that. Like, I don't think that's the case, but I just had that thought of like, is that why we're getting all these reveals early or something? But I hope that's not the case because I am all for it. I'm so all for it. And I thought Baku for certain was gonna tell Fujimi last episode, that Nox is Odaka, but he does do it in this episode, so that's still telling him very soon. Um, and well, as expected, Fujimi isn't very receptive to the idea. And it's interesting to me because Fujimi is kind of the guy who's been like in these cases, he's always been the guy who's like, listen to Baku. What Baku says goes. Baku is right about whatever he says. And then the moment that Odaka comes up, Fujimi's like, ha ha ha. No, you must be very mistaken, and it's definitely not him. He would not do that. Which is then interesting vice versa, because Natsuka, who's kind of originally like rather skeptical when it comes to Baku sharing what he learned in dreams, she was receptive to listening to what Baku had to say this time. And I think that like, Natsuka believes Baku when he says that Odaka is Nox. Because at this point she's seeing the effects for herself. She's knowing that it's too strong of a coincidence for it to be a coincidence. Fujimi and Natsuka's natural dynamic is very much of, you know, Natsuka being exasperated by her superior and just trying to figure shit out as best as she can. And she knows that he's a little silly, but she does she does appreciate him as a person. They just have a very nice dynamic to watch on screen, and this episode was more evidence of that in that regard because it's I wouldn't say the two of them are arguing during this episode, but it's more so as in I think they know that the other person doesn't believe what they believe, if that makes sense. Like Fujimi's like, nope, it can't be Odaka, and Natsuka is like, I'm starting to believe what Baku's saying, so I doubt that he could be mistaken about something like this. It's interesting. I'm very excited to see where where their dynamic goes and where this specific argument goes, because Baku very much is telling the truth about the guy who killed him. I still think it's wild how Baku did not bring that up to anyone, that I did die. That is a thing that happened. I was killed by a nightmare, but I was revived. Speaking of recovery, actually, let's talk about Recovery's sibling capsum, Barrier, and how I don't think Barrier is exactly around anymore. True to last episode's preview, though, we did learn, in a way, what Nox was referring to when he said in the preview of the capsums are dangerous. Because what came out of Barrier's capsum was referred to as a nightmare by Nox. Like, as if Barrier was some kind of imprisoned nightmare that was contained within the capsum and stored for usage, and can only escape the capsum if damage is done to it, because Barrier didn't start acting up until Nox shot the capsum. But when Barrier is loose, it's like a rabid animal. Like like it's trying to kill Baku, it's trying to maim him, and it's uncontrollable because it's no longer sealed away. And unlike previous nightmares that were involved, Nox did kill it. And at the end of the episode, Nox does say that the Capsums have the power to make bad dreams come true. And I am wondering about that. Like, really thinking about that and everything. Because, okay, so we've established in this episode that the Capsums contain nightmares. That essentially the powers of them are used to give Baku his powers. But then what exactly does Nox mean of the power to make bad dreams come true? Were these Capsums originally formated with some kind of evil scheme behind them? Or is it just a case where it's like, these are nightmares that have been contained, not defeated, so even if you use them for good, their powers are still going to affect you somehow, or they're going to have an influence on you. And also, if it is true that all the Capsums contain nightmares in them, then, as a big fan of monsters, I just think it would be really neat if Baku slowly became non-human as the more he used them. And I'm not saying like visually, I just mean in like kind of, I mean, well, I guess speaking of Blade, how I'm not going to mention the specifics because if anyone listening has not watched Blade yet, I don't want to spoil. I don't want to spoil it for you, but if you've seen Blade and you know what the ending is, then I think you get kind of the direction I'm going in here with this little idea. But hey, that's just the monster lover side of me leaping out and doing little runs in circles on the floor. But anyway, back to talking about the episode real quick, because speaking of Capsums and Capsums containing nightmares, Zero was holding on to into pretty much a silver Capsum, which I am very certain is going to be Zetz's big power-up form, or at least his first big power-up form. We have no idea how many this man's going to have by the end of the show. So, I'm assuming that's his first big super power-up. But I'm now also very concerned, considering if the Capsums have nightmares hidden within them, how powerful is the nightmare within that one? I'm just very curious, and considering how Nox seems very salty at Code and Code's practices, I'm assuming that there is a chance that Nox was a former Code agent who secretly fought the nightmares as Baku did, which I think was alluded to in the flashback. And then Nox realized the truth or found out about the captions containing nightmares. Like I think it's clear at this point that Nox was an agent of Code, but the timeline for how things got from then to now is still very very wiggly and nothing solid yet. Because how do you go from fighting nightmares full time to assisting nightmares with making bad dreams come true, and also claiming that the capsums are bad pretty much, considering how Nox fought against them instead of with them as he typically does for nightmares. There's just so much going on here, and just it's very interesting. I like the tracks that they're laying down for theory building, because my mind's already spinning with possibilities and the potential timeline, and I'm just so curious. I gotta know the details. I want to know if Zero and Nox have unimaginable beef with each other. I need to know.